Hello everyone, myself Yogesh Kumar. Today we are going to perform an important experiment related with your syllabus element of modern physics, which is named as Boltzmann constant. So let us start with this experiment. Here the aim of this experiment is to determine the Boltzmann constant using VI characteristics of a PN diode. But before performing this experiment, before connecting all these things, let me give some brief theory about this very good experiment, right? So as we know that the Boltzmann constant is simply represented as KB, where B is the subscript called as Boltzmann, and sometimes we used as K, right? So let me tell you first what is the Boltzmann constant. So this is the aim of our experiment, to determine the Boltzmann constant using VI characteristics of PN junction diode, right? So I can say that this Boltzmann constant is represented by KB or K, where this B is the Boltzmann. All right. So it is nothing but a physical. So K is the physical constant relating the average kinetic energy of a particle in a gas with the temperature, right? So I think you all have already studied in the thermal classes in the last year class that this K is nothing but the ratio of capital R by Na, where this R is the universal gas constant, all right, and this Na is Avogadro constant. And yes, we know the numerical value for this universal gas constant, which is 8.3144 joule per mole per Kelvin, and this Na is the Avogadro number, and its value is something like this per mole. So if I put this R and Na over here, so I can find out this value of K. So this K comes out to be 1.38 into 10 to the power minus 23 joule per Kelvin, right? So this value we have to find out in our experiment. Now we require some apparatus for this. Now let me tell you that which apparatus is required for this particular experiment, right? Where we are trying to find out the Boltzmann value, which is 1.38 into 10 to the power minus 23 joule per Kelvin. So very few basics requirement for performing this experiment. One is taken as this. You can see here. This is PN junction diode, right? It's just like a resistance, you can say. So this is in cylindrical shape, as you can see here. This is cylindrical shape, black, where there is a mark of silver, right? So you can see this mark, right? So here there is a mark of silver. So this is nothing but my PN junction diode, right? I'm also give a brief summary, or I just give a brief overview of this PN junction diode, how it works. So this is one of the important component for this given circuit. So this PN junction diode is basically cylindrical shape, and there is one mark silver, and this side is taken as positive and this silver side is taken as negative, right? So this is the first important requirement for our experiment. Another is this breadboard where we make our basic circuits, right? So this I think you all are aware. You have already done many experiments with the help of this breadboard, right? So this is our another requirement. Another, we will use this battery, right? This is the battery, DC battery, basically DC power supply of 5 volt, right? And because this is the variable supply, right? So you can change the value from 0 to 5 volt, right? And this is having the least count of 0.05 volt, right? So it will be good if you take the least count for a very small scale. So this is my variable, and yes, if you don't want to use this variable supply, then you can also use the fixed power supply, right? Fixed power supply you can also use the fixed power supply, but in that case you need a rheostat, right? So that rheostat will be used for dividing that voltage, and that voltage you can also measure with the help of multimeter also, right? But right now we have this variable supply, so we can use this variable supply where it is written as this is from 0 to 5 volt. We have this range with the least count of 0.05 and having the current 1 ampere, right? So this is one of another requirement of our apparatus. And yes, to measure the current we also need milliammeter, and that milliammeter we have see in the range of 0 to 20 milliampere, right? That is more than sufficient if you will use milliammeter range which is varying from 0 to 20 milliampere. But because we don't have apparatus of that range, so I am taking this range having 200 milliampere DC. Alright, so this also works well. And yes, multimeter is also required for this, right? To do this experiment, so that we can check the component that whether this PN junction diode is in working condition or not. So with the help of this multimeter we can check whether this is in working condition or not. Or I will tell you that how we will check this, right? So this is all the important components we have. One is DC regulated power supply having range 0 to 5 volt. Another is milliammeter which is having the range of 0 to 20 milliampere. But for our case we are using 200 milliampere DC, right? One is breadboard and this multimeter. So all this using all these components we can easily perform or find out the value of K, right? So when this component, let me tell you something about this. This is my PN junction diode, right? So when the p-type semiconductor connected with the n-type semiconductor, it will become a PN junction diode, right? And the very important characteristics of this PN junction diode is that it is used as a rectifier, right? Rectifier in which the charges flow only in one direction, but not in opposite direction. It can flow, and the potential difference across the PN junction can be applied in two ways. One is taken as a forward bias and another is taken as a reverse bias, right? So in the forward there are two types. One is forward bias and another is reverse bias, and we will working on forward bias. Okay? So in forward bias, whenever the external voltage applied with the polarity, such as the P terminal, like if this positive side is connected to the positive terminal of the battery, and if this silver side, which is negative, is connected with negative terminal of the battery, then the circuit is forward biased, right? And if you reverse the terminals, then circuit will be reverse bias, right? So what I said, when this point, this is my positive side, so whenever this point is connected with the positive terminal of the battery, and this silver side, which is negative, is connected with negative terminal of the battery, then circuit will become a forward bias, right? So with such a biasing, the height of the potential barrier at the junction is lowered, and the diffusion current due to both electron and holes increasing rapidly, right? So for that, whenever the circuit is forward biased, then depletion layer will be reduced. You have already studied in your earlier stage, right? So in the forward bias, we know that whenever the circuit is forward biased, depletion layer will be reduced, the resistance will be low, and whenever the connection is reversed, then depletion layer will be large, and potential for this particular value is very high, right? A big boundary, you can say that. Now I am going to tell you how the current is related to this voltage, which is given by some equation. So let me explain now how this current is related to this voltage now. So let me explain here on this white sheet. Yeah, so for this we will use one important equation which relate current and voltage. I is equal Is e to the power qV by nkt minus 1, right? This is very important equation which we use, which is the formula which we will use to calculate the Boltzmann constant. As you can see here, this is my current, right, which is flowing in the circuit. This Is is the saturation current. This is the saturation current. This is the charge on electron. Sometimes it is represented as E value, sometimes it is used as Q. This is the voltage, right? This is the applied voltage. This Q is the charge on electron, K is the Boltzmann constant, T is the absolute temperature, right, which we use for the room temperature value, and that has to be in Kelvin, right, not in degree. Whatever temperature you are measuring in degree, you have to convert this in Kelvin, right? And yes, this factor is very important here, N. So let me write it here, N. This N is nothing but my ideality factor, okay, or sometimes it is called as numerical constant. And yes, its values are always vary from 1 to 2. For our case, N is equal 1 for germanium and N is equal 2 for silicon, right? This is for the silicon. So this N value sometimes taken as idealistic factor or numerical constant. It is 1 for germanium and 2 for the silicon, right? Now there is some important point here which I am trying to say, that whatever circuit you are taking here, like I am drawing PN junction diode, this is my external applied voltage, right, and their symbolic representation here is this, where this is taken as positive, this is taken as negative, right? And here I am taking this battery, all right. And if I am talking about the characteristics diagram, so I can also represent this here. This is the voltage, right? This is the current for the forward bias. As you increase starting from 0, then it will go like this. And then of course there is some operating voltage or knee voltage on which this current will start increasing, and at some particular point it will rapidly increases. Alright, so this is taken as forward bias, and you must know what is the operating voltage for germanium and silicon. For germanium the operating voltage is about 0.3 volt. Now for silicon it is about 0.7 volt, right? Similarly, if I talk about energy gap for germanium is 0.7 electron volt, right? And for silicon the band gap is something about 1.10 electron volt. Okay, so these are very important: operating voltage for germanium and silicon, and this is the energy gap for the germanium and silicon, right? So if you make the diagram IV characteristics, this is nothing but my IV characteristic of PN junction diode, right? So here for the forward bias, the current measured in milliampere, and for reverse bias we always used to measure current in microampere, right? So this is this curve which I have traced. This is for the, like, if I represent this as for operating voltage, knee voltage, here we can take it as 0.7 volt, right? This is for what? This is for the silicon. Similarly, I can take this for germanium, right? So it is something about around 0.3 where current start increasing. Alright, and yes, if you go for the reverse biased, then my curve is like this. This is the breakdown voltage, right, where the depletion layer will become very large and very few electrons are shifting from one side to another side. Okay, so here current is very smaller. That's why we represent this in microampere. Very small current will flow in a given circuit. And here we always used to measure current in milliampere. So this is all about the characteristics of the PN junction diode. Now let me tell you another important thing, that if my external voltage is 0, then what will happen? There will be no current. Alright, if there is no voltage, there is no current, and as V increases, I is also increases, right? And when V is positive and large, when V is positive and very large, the unity in the parenthesis, whatever I am using in this equation here, in this equation, if my voltage is very large for such particular value, if I put the charge value, Boltzmann constant, this temperature, this numerical constant, and if I substitute this V value here, so this value will become very large. Okay, so for that I can neglect this one here. Alright, so I can easily neglect this one here. So accordingly, according to this, the current increases exponentially with the voltage. That's why you can see here the curve is just like exponential curve, right? So here I can say that this one factor will be neglected. Now for this I can write my equation as I is equal Is e to the power qV by n kT. This equation we will going to use to calculate Boltzmann constant. All right. So here we have neglected 1 because of high value of this exponential term, right? Now I can easily find out the value of k from using this equation. How you can find out? Let me tell you. Now just we are taking log both sides. Okay, I am taking natural log both sides of this equation. Alright, so this will become log of I, because there are 2 parameters we are using. One is this, another is this. So we can easily take here this plus, if I take log on this, then exponential term and log will be cancelled out. Then my equation will become QV by N KT. Alright, and yes, you can also take log base 10, and for that you have to take the value for log base 10 2.303. Alright, so using this we can easily plot the log I versus this value as a slope from this Boltzmann k value. So by this we can easily calculate this k value here, right? Now what I mean to say, if you see this very critically, if you observe this equation very critically, I can again rearrange this as QV by N KT, alright, plus IS. Yes, if you see this equation tell me something. This I can write Y, this part is taken as M, and this is my variable is taken as X, and this is my intercept as C. So if you see this equation tell me that the given equation is an equation of a straight line. Alright, so by which we can plot the graph between log I and voltage, which is I am representing by V here. So using all these things, I can easily calculate my K, which is taken as Q. If I am converting this in the natural log into a base 10 power, then as I said, you have to multiply by this and T into 1 over slope, where slope is always computing using graph. If I show the graph for time being, this is my graph we have, and for this I can plot this graph for the x-axis. For the ordinate we have voltage, and here we have the log base 10 I, and I will tell you that why I am plotting this graph in opposite direction, means in the 4th quadrant, right? So if I plot this graph roughly, so this is something like this, and where it is cut, it will give me the value of log base 10 IS, right? Make a slope, and this slope, if I substitute all the value, because here in this, all these values are the constant values, right? We know the charge Q is nothing but 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb. N value for germanium or silicon you can easily substitute here, and this is the temperature, right? For our convenient, I am just taking this as 300 Kelvin. So let us say, let us assume, the temperature I am taking 300 Kelvin, and I am taking as 2 for silicon, let us say. Then my K will come out, if I put here in this equation, in this given equation, then by putting all these values, I am getting 11.59 into 10 to the power minus 23, something like that, right? Divided, we have slope here, and slope, as I said, this you can calculate it by plotting the graph between log I and this voltage. Okay, so the slope you can put it here. If everything is fine, then my value is approximately coming out to be this. Now, this is all about the theory part, which is very necessary, very important to explain to you, right? So now I am going to tell you about the circuit, how you will perform this experiment, and we are going to take a few values. For this, we will just try to vary voltage, and by that we can easily observe current in ammeter. And by that we plot, we will take some observation here and try to find out this value of K, whether we will get this or not. Alright. Let us come to the circuit diagram for this current experiment. So let me draw the very simplest diagram first. So if I make a simplest diagram for this, we have one diode. I will use milliammeter and connected one battery, right? This is positive, this is negative, this is again this is positive and negative. And remember that here I am using the variable battery, okay, which is varying from 0 to 5 volt, and here this is varying from, ideally I can say that 0 to 20 milliampere. Alright, now we can make another diagram, which is you will see in many books. I will take fixed regulated power supply. This is fixed, okay. Remember, we used to do some mistakes and confuse that which is called as variable supply and which is fixed, right? Fixed means which we cannot vary, okay. It is completely fixed voltage. It is showing 5 volt, either 0 or only 5 volt. But here, if it is variable, then you can vary the voltage with some least count, 1, 2, 3, or 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, or 0.01, 0.02 up to 5, right? So there are two kinds of things. So if in laboratory, if it is available, you can use this, and you can also use this. Now for the fixed supply, here I am using rheostat. From the center, I am taking milliammeter, connected positive here and negative here, and just put a diode. And this is the circuit which is forward bias. Remember what I am saying, this is my forward biased, right? And if you want to convert this in reverse bias, just reverse this diode or change the terminal over here, right? So this is my complete circuit of this forward bias. All right, and yes, you can by using this, if you vary using rheostat, if you divide this voltage, I can use voltmeter here, right? So voltmeter, positive connected with positive and negative connected with negative. So you can use multimeter also, right? By which you can easily vary, with the help of this rheostat, you can easily vary this voltage, right? Ranging from 0 to 5 volt. So this is the basic circuit diagram. All right. Now, as I said, we are using now our particular experiment. We are using it here 200 milliampere. Okay. And I am using variable here, variable voltage supply, and one multimeter and diode. Now let us perform the experiment. And before performing the experiment, let me one more thing to do with the observation table. In this observation table, first we have, this is my observation table, and please, before draw this observation table, don't forget to write the least count of voltmeter and least count of ammeter. It is very, very important thing, right? If you don't know the least count, you cannot perform the experiment at all. So please, while taking this before taking this observation, please note down the least count of the voltmeter and the ammeter as well. So serial number, and then we can plot, write the voltage with symbol, and yes, with its unit in volts. Then we will measure the current in milliampere. Okay, symbol I. All right, and this current has to be converted in ampere. So I can also measure in ampere. And finally, this I has to be converted into this, right? Then only you can plot versus voltage. This I want, right? These two values. So one value I require this, and another is this. All right. So these two, by these two values, by this taking these two values, I can easily plot this graph, right? So it will give me the slope, and by that I can easily calculate the value of K. All right. So now I am going to perform this experiment or demonstrate this experiment, that how it will works. Before I start the experiment or I demonstrate this experiment, let us verify whether this diode, this PN junction diode is working or not. Okay. To do that, I just need this multimeter, right? In this multimeter you can see, and yes, there are two ways to verify this diode, whether this diode is working or not. There are two ways, right? One is that I'm just putting this on the diode symbol, right? By that I can easily check whether this is working or not. So this is not showing anything, so let me check first. Yeah, so this is showing something. So now, as I told you, that this silver side is taken as negative and this side is taken as positive. So now I am taking reverse side first. Positive is connected with this negative, and positive is connected with this negative here. Okay, let us see. Now, if my terminal are opposite, you can see there is 0 reading. All right, there is 0 showing. Now I am again taking same forward bias. As we know, positive is connected with positive of P terminal, and negative N type is connected with the negative of this. So using this, it has to show some value. Diode, in the diode, it will give some value. Let me just check it again. So here the connection is loose. So here you can see it is showing some reading around, please focus on this, it is showing around 0.5. okay, so it means this diode is in working condition, right? When I am putting this N type with positive and this silver side which is N type with negative, then it is showing 0.5 around reading, 0.5 volt, and when I reverse this, then it is showing 0 reading, right? Now alternatively I can again find out or to check or verify this diode by putting this on the resistance, right? And let me see whether it works or not. So I am changing the range here. Now here you can see another way to verify this PN junction diode. Now in this diode I again connect P with this positive terminal and this silver side which is N connected with negative terminal, and you can see here my resistance is coming around 15 or 16 kilo ohm, right? Because the connection is forward bias, right? So it is showing very low resistance. Alright. Now if I reverse this, right? If I reverse this, then my resistance should be very high. So I'm just change the terminals. Positive with N and negative with P. So let us see. What we find. So this is in mega ohm, right? But it is not showing. Just let me again try this. Yeah, some connection is creating problem. Yeah. Now you just look at here in this, please focus on this. It is coming up around in some mega ohm, right? So here the resistance is too high to check this. So by this two method we can easily check this PN junction diode, right? Now we are trying to make our connections so that we can perform this experiment and try to take readings accordingly. Now please, I am going to draw the circuit as I draw here. Now I am making this circuit on this breadboard. Okay, so the positive terminal of this diode is connected to the positive battery of supply. So let me take this here P side of this semiconductor is connected with this. Let me show you. This positive side, right? So this positive is connected with the positive terminal of the battery, right? Then next I am connecting another part. Now coming to this negative terminal of this P. This negative terminal of P which is silver side is connected with positive of this milliammeter, right? Is this fine? So, and negative of this milliammeter, I am connecting here. Negative will goes to the negative of this battery. Okay, this point. So now my circuit is completed. All right. Now what we have to do next? Is simply I'm just taking the reading. I'm just varying this voltage here. Okay, and try to take the value of this current. This is our complete setup, right? Now we have this DC regulated power supply 0 to 5 volt. This is milliammeter, and this is breadboard where we have put this diode here. Okay, and yes, multimeter you can use to check whether your voltage is coming perfectly or not, right? So here we have already cross checked this. It is perfectly fine in our case. So now let us take a few readings so that you can easily perform this whole experiment. As I told you earlier, very important point, the least count of experiment has to be there. So now we are using two apparatus here. One is power supply and another is ammeter. So if you see here, if I increase this, it increases in the interval of 0, 0.1, 0.02, 0.03. So this way, point in the interval of 0.01, it will increases. Same, if you vary this, then the current increases in 0.1 milliampere, right? So this is the least count of our instrument which we are using as voltmeter, power supply, and this is ammeter, right? Now let us start our reading. First, voltage. Now I am trying to vary this voltage very slowly. I am varying here. Let us take 0.03. My current is showing this. .10, again 0. Let us take 0.2. Nothing is showing because we know that the operating voltage is coming around 4 to 5, 0.4 to 0.5, right, for germanium and silicon. So again it is showing here 0, 0.3 showing 0. Yeah, now it is start increasing. As you can see here in this milliammeter, for 0.3, let us take this is 0 again, and 0.4, it start increasing. So near about 0.4 it is showing 0.1 around, right? So now current will start increasing. This is near about our operating voltage. So 0.4 pe you have this. Now I am taking at 0.5. At 0.5 it is coming around 1 or 9, let us say 0.5. We have 0.9 here. Now let us take 0.55 if we can see, yeah, 1.8 at 0.55. Then next reading we can take, please show this carefully, 0.6, yeah, at 0.6 around it is 3.1, 0.65. As you can see here, 0.65, we have 4.7, right? All right, please see carefully both the readings. And now 0.7, 0.7, yeah, oh. Yeah, 0.7 coming out. Take maximum reading so that my graph will be very fine. All right, this will be 4.8, 7.5. You have 5.5 around, and same at 0.8, 6.1, 6.1 at 0.8. Let us take few more. 0.9, 0.9. You have 8.5, 0.9 and 1. It is 11 point. See how it shoot out at 1.0. It is coming around at 1. That I want to show you actually. You can see here at 0.95, at 0.95 it is coming around 80. Okay, let me take two more reading. 0.95 it is coming around 80. Okay, 80 around, and 1 on exact 1 it is 90 around. So last reading I can take 1.0 which is 90 around. Okay, so this I want to show you that from this region, from 8, you can see that how this is shoot up exactly 80 or 90. So by this, if you go in my previous case, as I have shown you that this is the current shoot up, this current is shoot up, right, very rapidly. Okay, so our operating voltage is about 0.5 around, and then as you increase the voltage, current will shoot up. This I want to show you. Now just calculate. Yes, I can switch off this. Now this is all our readings we have. Now you can calculate milliampere in amperes. All right, and then you can also find out its log, right? Use this. Now in the next graph, the next point, what I mean to say using this point, we have made this table, right? We have taken the voltage, and by that we have these currents, right? And yes, one most important thing which I would like to say, that don't go beyond 1, right? Because in that case this PN junction diode can be damaged, right? Because we just want that value, that V voltage, and some particular value up to 1. That is more than sufficient for us. But don't go beyond that, because the depletion layer will be breakdown, and in that situation this will not work again. Okay, so please avoid to go beyond that, because what I have seen in many cases the student are trying to change value again and again, right? So please don't go beyond 1 voltage, okay, 1 volt. So after this, when I just find out this value, as you can see here, the current voltage and current value, I can easily find out this in current ampere, and we have to change this milli, which is 10 to the power minus 3, right? So please change it carefully, all the values, and then find out this log I. Now what I want to say from this, so this is our graph, and whenever you take current in log I, you will have the negative values. Okay, so I'm just plotting the graph. On plotting this graph between log base 10 I versus voltage. So the graph we have like this. This is the voltage in volts, and this is log base 10. And you will see that we have taken many values, as if I start with 0.2, 0.3, so on up to, let us say we have go up to this point, right? And if I start from here, these are certain values which comes in negative, right? So these values are appears like -2, -3, -4, up to different range, right? So now if I plot my graph, it comes like the point we have like this. Some point can vary, doesn't matter. So with the help of this, we can make these points. Right? The perfect curve view you have, straight line curve, right? And now by using this, you can take slope of this, and we have yes, we know the formula. If I am taking n is equal to, let us say for silicon, and temperature, let us assume our temperature is 300 Kelvin around, then by putting all the values in the formula, given formula which I have already shown you earlier, this is my formula we have, and by reducing that, simplifying that, we have this slope we have already found out, putting all these values, charge on electron, temperature, and ideality factor or numerical factor, you can say. So by this I can take 11.59 into 10 to the power minus 23. Yes, it depending on the slope, what slope you have. Okay, so in different diodes there are different slope will come. Let us say if I use near about let us say my slope will come around 25, let us say. I am just taking some random value here. So if you calculate this value come out to be around 1.5. I don't know, I have not calculated this. So just please calculate this. Let us say my value is coming in the range 1.5 into 10 to the power minus 23 joule Kelvin, right? So this is my experimental value we have, but we know that the theoretical or the ideal value of this Boltzmann constant coming out 1.38 into 10 to the power minus 23 joule per Kelvin. This is my ideal value, but the experimental or calculated value we have this, which is of course, if you see here, this is larger as comparison to this. So this value is larger as comparison to our ideal value of Boltzmann constant. Why it is so? The high value of K is because my N, which is equal to 1, however, the value generally lies between 1 and 2. This diode which we are using here, okay, these values can be vary from 1 to 2, even greater than 2 in some cases, right? So generally this value vary from 1 to 2, but in few cases it could be more than 2 also. So if the ideality factor deviates from 1, okay, because we have chosen 2 here for the silicon case. So generally we take germanium type of semiconductor. So in that situation, what I trying to say is that if ideality factor deviates from 1, it means that our diode which we are using is not ideal, right? Why it is not ideal? Because it deviates from its value, which is 1. So the diode is not an ideal, and departure from the ideal characteristics is due to the generation and recombination in the depletion layer. Alright, so this could be the reason. That's why it deviates from its original value. So the main reason behind that is that it is due to the generation and recombination in the depletion layer, high injection, and the series resistance effect, right? So these are the ways by which we can calculate the value of Boltzmann constant. So remember, this Boltzmann constant ideally we can calculate as 1.38 into 10 to the power minus 23 joule per Kelvin. And yes, experimentally this value can be varied, right? And for that you can find out the percentage error, log error, right? So that you can see by using log error in apparatus how much error is there, that you can easily find out, right? So please, whatever calculation you have, whatever value you have calculated with the help of your experiment, but always calculate the errors, which is very important for every experiment, right? So this now I just conclude from this. Now we have already completed the determine the value of Boltzmann constant using p-n junction diode. I hope you understand whatever I told you, and by that you can easily perform this experiment. It is very simple experiment, and yes, in the last we can take some precautions, that my P side is always connected with the positive terminal of the battery, and N side is always connected with negative terminal of the battery. Then the connection will be forward bias. Then my circuit will be forward bias. Then it only works, right? This is first precautions. Second, my temperature, the room temperature should be fine, so that it will not deviate from its original value. Okay, because temperature from different region could be different. This is second one. And third one, just check the connection very properly, and always measure the least count perfectly. Okay, then only you can perform this experiment in very nice way. Thank you so much. I hope this lecture or this the way I explained is clear to you. Thank you so much once again.